You're watching News at Prime, and we continue with our coverage on the looming 30% tariff hikes on South African goods by the United States. And these are set to kick in on Thursday, with sectors like agriculture and car makers set to feel the impact. Exporters Western Cape chairperson Terry Gale joining us now for more on this particular conversation. Terry, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Let's start here. Are job losses avoidable? If your answer is not, then which sectors are going to feel the immediate impact of these tariff hikes?
Yes, good evening, and thank you so much for the time. It's actually very appropriate, especially coming after the president, what he was telling us, the conversation continuing with the states. However, the job losses are already here. In particular in the Western Cape, as you are well aware, Western Cape relies heavily on agricultural exports. Our exports of wine, the wine market in particular into the US has actually started to grow exponentially. However, since the beginning of this year, I know we've been out of season, we haven't exported any wine because of the uncertainty of the market as well. The agricultural side, exactly as of last week, we had 3 million cartons of citrus on the water for the states. And because of the difference being in the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere, we've gained great market share in America to actually get our fruit, get our produce there, because it's out of season for America. So we can provide it, and we can provide it a good product. And one of the things we always tend to forget as well is the fact that America is incredible from an opportunity to actually trade with. Particularly from the Western Cape, we're sitting at the edge of Africa. We have a direct weekly service from Cape Town to New York, 14, 18 days transit time. And it's been like that. It's a service that's been going for years.
Yeah.
And certainly, as I say, the job losses are there. They are absolutely, I can already say, even out of the manufactured items, it actually has already started. We can feel the bloodbath.
Terry, let's talk about those wine exports, because the Premier of the Western Cape is a very worried man as we sit, because I had this conversation with him last night, and he's not happy with how our government has handled these negotiations. So let's talk about the wine exports. They've been growing exponentially. What do you foresee happening now as it regards these exports?
The problem is as well, we're just going into the season for wine exports as well. So as I mentioned, we basically haven't really started moving any containers of wine into the States at the moment. And that as it is because of the uncertainty. So that actually industry has actually come to grinding halt. Not that America is our biggest wine export, the UK is, but that's not the point, because the Americans like our wine. America has 340 million consumers that love that. And we always say they love buying things, as we all know. So it's an incredible market. It's an incredible market for us to actually use. It shocks me. And I know I actually had a brief word with Premier Wendy this morning as well, just to tell him that what he's mentioned yesterday, we support him 150%, because it's frightening when you think of the president always talks about creating employment. When we create employment, now they were taking that employment away from us.
Yeah.
It's actually is beyond concern, and we in particular are actually as even more concerned, because I also run a small freight forwarding company. Our exports generally are also based into the States as well. It's a fantastic market for us, and it's all very well to say, oh, let's replace it. You don't just replace it overnight, and taking into account with the volatility of trade between different trade lanes, routes, and the problems when containers, basically it's the only direct service that we have from the Republic of South Africa that leaves directly from our ports into another trade hub. So all the other ports, even the European market at the moment, there's opportunity. It's not many of those vessels aren't going directly because they're being transshipped. So that's where the big problem is as well, where now the fact is America is direct. And that's why one of the big reasons why we got such a big foothold into America. We cannot afford to lose that market. It's fine. I've just come on, listen, and I thank you. I was just listening to the president saying, "Oh, we're talking." And I don't know, they're working 24 hours. I have seen numerous emails. I've never had the courtesy of one reply. I don't know who's working in his deal. I send it to his PA, Vincent. I send it directly to him. I have never even had an acknowledgement. So I don't know what type of work they actually are doing. And I hope he's listening to this guy so that I perhaps will get a response tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually too late. Basically, that's really what it boils down. Thursday is D-Day. And we're all going to be hit with this 30%. We have to talk now. And we have to, as we all know, we have to play Mr. Trump's game. Yeah. We have to go there, talk to him. And we also, another thing is that the big thing in Washington, we have no diplomatic representative, a proper diplomatic representative. And that's exactly what Washington wants. So we really, it's actually, I don't think people actually have come to absorb the problems that we actually are facing with this, because it's really going to have an incredible impact on our economy.
Terry, let's conclude the conversation, not to sound alarmist, but you say job losses are here already. I'm thinking of towns like Citrusdal. What's going to happen? What's the fate of those towns, you think?
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth, because I actually had one of the big items that I asked you to talk with Citrusdal. Citrusdal has grown its exports, as we all know. Where does the name come from? The Citrusdal mainly focus on the American market because it's so easy for them to do it. And Citrusdal will actually, it will die. I'm sorry to say, and that's a sad reality of the town will actually die, because they basically focus on their orange exports. And the orange exports, I think last week, we actually reached the highest figures for citrus exports ever. So this is just to show, and this is all going, not all to America, obviously, but we are the second biggest citrus exporters in the world. We're going to lose that mantle. And we work hard enough to get this, and now suddenly it's just been taken. We're not concerned about all this. So it is a very, very worrying time.
Terry Gale, thank you very much for your time. He is the chairperson of Exporters Western Cape, and a worrying situation indeed. As you hear him say, job losses are already here.